Last time on Dragon Ball Super, Zeno summons Goku to hang out and be best friends. Zamasu is becoming crazier by the second, and Goku, Vegeta, and Trunks go black to the future. I have been holding that pun in since this fucking arc began. So right out of the gate, I want to go and state that this episode I liked definitely a lot more than the last one. Last episode, there was this constant shit throughout it that just bugged the shit out of me, really ruined the enjoyment value. This time, that did not happen. There are some issues. I'll get into them as I go through it, but, you know, this episode was definitely a step above the last one, and I can actually say I genuinely did enjoy this episode. Now, the bulk of this episode was taken up with the whole Zeno thing, and there were some cool things that we learned, and like little bits of information that kind of piqued my interest. First off, we learned that the Kaioshin and Beers are linked. If one dies, the other dies, which is something that was brought up in the manga, but it's the first time it's been brought up in the anime, so it's the first time I'm bringing it up here. And it just goes to show that this was something that Toriyama wrote, which is why it's showing up in both. Though this makes me ask the question, were there like 5 gods of destruction, and then like now there's just the one? Or, you know, do you have to kill like the 4 Kaioshin and the Dai Kaioshin, and then Beers dies? Is that how that works? I kind of wish they'd explored that a little bit more detail would have been nice. You know, because if it's the other way around, does that mean there's like 5 gods of destruction in like Universe 6? Are there like 5 Champas rolling around as being lazy fat asses? Really wish they would have explored this, but I feel like just like the Namekian Book of Mythologies, we're never going to get this fucking touched on again. So it's whatever, I'll take what I can get. Now, to get to Zeno's place, they have Kaioshin take them, and he uses his Kai ability, which is, you know, it's his version of teleportation. A lot of people seem to think it's the same as Goku's instantaneous movement. It is not the same thing. They do work differently. And, you know, Goku needs to actually sense a person. Kaioshin does not. He just thinks of a location and goes to it. Now, I do have a bit of an issue with this because, as far as I know, that technique is only Kibito's. Kibito was the one that was always shown using it, not Kaioshin. And Kaioshin was ever only shown using it after he fused with Kibito. So, you know, I don't know what's going on there. I guess maybe you could argue that Kibito and Kaioshin being fused, like, you know, they learned that, like, you know, he learned out, like, how to do that technique by being fused with Kibito. But then again, like, that makes me wonder, like, why does Vegeta know, like, the Kaioken? Because, you know, they were fused through Potara fusion. So, like, if they have, like, a shared knowledge thing going on, they should kind of, you know, Vegeta should know the Kaioken, basically, is what I'm saying. And Goku should know the Gallic Gun. But then again, I guess that's not how fusion works, but maybe it does. I don't know. Once again, I don't think it's ever going to be explored or explained. Fuck it. Okay, seriously though, I swear I did actually enjoy this episode, regardless of all the little nitpicky shit it keeps bringing up. Some legitimately cool things that were brought up, or at least things that piqued my interest that I did like. You know, we get introduced to the Great Priest, or the Grand Priest, and he is outright stated to be probably like the 5th strongest person in like the multiverse, and that even Whis does not compare to this motherfucker. So that's kind of cool that we are, like, you know, creating these levels of power. Like, yeah, like there's all these guys way fucking above Goku and Vegeta. You know, that they're creating like this upper ceiling of guys that just, yeah, Goku's, you know, either just never going to catch up to, or if he does, it'll be a long fucking time before this happens. Also, the Grand Priest being the 5th strongest makes me wonder who the 4 people between, or the 3 people between him and Zeno are, because I would assume like 2 of them are Zeno's attendants, but they could actually be weaker than the Great Priest. So there could be like 3 guys that are just in between them we've never fucking seen before. So it definitely leaves the door open for new characters to come in later on, which is nice that they're maybe being forward-thinking a little, setting things up in advance. Not that I think Goku will actually end up ever fighting any of these guys, but it's cool that they're at least, you know, setting stuff up, possibly, maybe. Now on to Zeno himself. Everything he does in this episode I really enjoyed for the most part. Like, I find him an endlessly adorable character, and I love his very childlike mentality to everything. He talks like a kid, he acts like a kid, but he's a kid with this ridiculous godlike power. If you piss him off, he'll throw a childlike temper tantrum, and that's the end of the multiverse. You know, he's that fucking unstable and crazy. I also like, you know, whenever you have like Kaioshin trying to like, you know, speak for Goku, and Zeno's just like silence, and it's just, whoa, okay, and then just everyone shuts the fuck up. The attendants go to like step into, assault Goku for saying something stupid, and Zeno's just like, I'll wipe you out, and they're like, whoa, okay, we're done. And I like that. I like that he has like this weird investment in Goku as a person, that like, because Goku is this childlike idiot himself, he treats Zeno like a regular guy, and that's something that Zeno's never had. Like, he's used to people being terrified of him, and, being completely subservient. But here's this one guy who is just, yeah, what up, cool, nice to meet you, shake his hand, just being a regular dude to him, and that piques Zeno's interest, and I really love that dynamic that they're building between these two characters. I even fucking adore it whenever Goku's like, oh yeah, just, call me Goku, and he's just like, oh, well, what should you call me then? And he's just like, Zenchan, and everyone's just like, oh my god, he just called the Lord of the Multiverse Zenchan. And he's just like, I like it. It's just like, everyone fucking loses it. But that's such a Goku thing. Even like the Lord of the Multiverse is just, he can't help but be charmed by Goku. And it's great. I love it. I adore their dynamic so goddamn much. I especially like it when Goku is swinging Zeno like up and down, like giving him a handshake. And Zeno's like, you're the only one that can do this. And Goku's like, really? Because it's not that hard. I'm like, oh, Goku, that's not what he meant. He means you're the only one privileged enough to. And that's, once again, another great little character dynamic moment scene between them. Now, there's one thing I did not like, and it's something that's really going to be bothering me in future arcs from now until eternity, until this MacGuffin is removed. Zeno gives Goku a get out of bullshit button. Just straight up, just, here, if you need me, push this button. I mean, it's cute that Goku pushed it while he was like right in front of him. That was funny. But now I'm just gonna have that in the back of my head. Like, now every time Goku is in a situation, he has the Lord of the Multiverse who can step in. Like, is this gonna be like a thing now in this upcoming fight? Is Goku and Vegeta and Trunks gonna get their asses beat? And as a last ditch effort, Goku's gonna click that button and Zeno's gonna show up and just drop the ban hammer on Black? Is that what's going to happen? Is this going to be the solve all, fix all thing for every goddamn arc? Like, I am genuinely worried. Why the hell would you give him the remove tension button? Like, I'm speaking like from not from Zeno's perspective. I'm talking about from a creator standpoint, from a narrative standpoint. You gave Goku a no more tension button. This is kind of the same issue with Resurrection F, where Beers and Whis show up, and Frieza's shitting his pants because Beers and Whis are way above him. And it's just like, well, now the tension's gone. Like, Beers says like, oh, I'm not going to get involved. This is your personal gripe. But Whis does get involved. Whis does step in and fix things. So them being there takes the fucking tension out. It's not like the characters are now responsible for their own actions because now the gods are literally on their side and will get them out of bullshit as needed. I don't want that to be the case. I really hope I'm wrong. I really hope that this button gets used in some sort of unique, fun fashion, but I seriously doubt it's going to happen. And the longer this arc goes on, like, it started with so much promise, and just the more things that unfold from it, I get more concerned about how this shit's going to end. It's just going to be, they go to the future, have a one-and-done fight with Black, and then Zeno shows up and fixes everything. That'd be the worst fucking way to end what started off as a really good fucking arc. Okay, well, speaking of the good elements of this arc, let's talk about Zamasu and just his crazy decline into being fucking insane. I fucking love Zamasu. He is, because I can totally get behind that mentality of, people are horrible. People don't have the right to live. You should just wipe them all out. Maybe that makes me a bit of a sociopath. Maybe that just makes me godlike in my intellect. I'm going to lean towards the latter. But Zamasu is a character I can totally get behind. He is that kind of Shinobu Sensui, light Yagami. The world is corrupt and broken, and people are terrible, and we need to just start a cleansing. I love Zamasu's character. I like how they're fleshing him out, they're developing him. They have a whole philosophical debate about, good and evil and what it means to be evil. And if a god stands by and watches wickedness play out, he, isn't that evil in its own right. And it's just, oh my god, I love it. I love it so much. I love moral philosophies. I love these kind of gray areas, these moral ambiguities. And to see this in a Dragon Ball character, to see this in a Dragon Ball villain, is so damn nice. I am so looking forward to seeing how his character plays out. Because, like, that is the thing that's really been latching me in. It's just Black and now Zamasu, and I want to see how that plays out. Now, a lot of people brought up before that because of like how heavily they're hinting that Zamasu is black, Zamasu is black, Zamasu is black, yes, insert your own black jokes there. Because they're insinuating it so hard that he might not be, like maybe he's just a red herring, and Goasu is actually black. And if that's the case, that's pretty fucking gay, because Goasu at this point has been shown to be the complete polar opposite. He thinks Zamasu's wrong. You know, could he end up being tainted by Zamasu's mentality? I guess. Yeah, it could still play out well, and I just feel like, you know, if they're going to go this route, they better explain themselves damn well. Like, they better really get into Goasu's character and explain what caused this shift in his, like, moral dynamics and why he now is this fucking Zamasu-esque murdering machine. So yeah, currently 50-50. I do have to agree with a lot of people, and even I've been kicking around the back of my head that Goasu could end up being black instead of Zamasu. Either way, though, it is still just that 50-50. There's only two characters it could be. It's probably Zamasu, just because, you know, he's the one that's been getting all this development. He's the one whose ki matches Black's, except minus the evil aura in it. And, which I guess now he officially has evil aura. I mean, even his friggin' tea turned black. But yeah, I am really looking forward to seeing where these things play out. I'm looking forward to the next episode. You know, they're going to be confronting Black and having their fight. You know, and I really want to see how this whole thing plays out. Also, you know, we're going to see some Super Saiyan Rose. And yes, it's pronounced Rose. Please don't correct me in the comment section, though I'm sure you will anyhow. But whatever. You know, that's all I had to say. That covers all the things that I want to talk about. Until next time, guys, Zeon, out.